Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle. Once again, it is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on amazing radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, Sports Radio 100.1 The Fan in Florence, 9:20 a.m. in Manning. Of course, your website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. If you hate typing, ClemsonRadio.com will get you there. Listen, read, post. It is the site with the most digital content covering your Clemson Tigers of any site in the market. We hope you will consider supporting us. Just 18 cents a day, $63.17 for 1 year's worth of coverage. That's right, $63.17. Step in, help us grow, and support us over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Of course, yesterday, some big news out of Tiger Town on the recruiting front is Clemson, during the midst of our program, if you go back and catch the podcast, you can hear us diving into it. Zaire Patterson committed to Clemson just as we hit hour number 2 of the show. Patterson, a defensive end out of the state of North Carolina, joining a group of now 13 total recruits at Clemson. I mentioned his versatility. Again, that's one of the things that I think really has begun to separate teams like Clemson from many others, is that non-traditional approach of saying, hey, where can this guy help us and how can they help us? Now, Clemson, of course, needed to bring in another defensive end prospect. You think about the fact that you lost a kid like Corey Foreman, who was previously committed to the Tigers, but then decided to take his talents potentially elsewhere. That doesn't mean things are completely off the table, but Foreman's a guy that wants to go out and visit other schools. He wants to have that opportunity, and we've talked to current Clemson players who committed without taking official visits. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. We've talked to the family members of former Clemson players in recent years who have said, hey, you know what? They do wish that their kid had taken those visits, perhaps. Not that they don't like Clemson, but they recognize to a degree what they may have missed out on. And so if you're the top player in the country, I mean, if you are the top player in the country, obviously you are going to be very interested in potentially taking a look around. And I don't blame kids for wanting to do that. I think it would be narrow-minded and shallow and, quite frankly, rude to think that a kid has to lock in, and especially a kid that lives in Corona, California, should feel compelled to commit to Clemson if he wants to go out and take a peek around. And so the Tigers right now at defensive end have Cade Denhoff on the board, committed out of Florida, and Zaire Patterson now committed out of North Carolina. Both of those individuals are rangy, lengthy defensive prospects, which is a huge positive from Clemson's standpoint, because I think that's really what they want off the edge. Denhoff checks in at like 6'5". Patterson checks in at 6'6". And so they've got two guys that they really want. Corey Foreman, though, I don't believe completely off the table. If you start looking around the country at schools like LSU, our good buddy Mike Scarborough over at TigerBait.com. If you check out the guys over at USCScoop.com, Southern Cal, those are probably two of the bigger name players in the mix right now to try to land a guy like Corey Foreman. Again, if you think about Southern Cal, while it's probably